Day 30 after civilization collapsed. Disasters like heavy rain, earthquakes, and tsunamis are still raging. Shen Lang stands on the rooftop as floodwater reaches his feet. That's when he unlocks the web's most desperate super raft system. He isn't the first to get a system, but he's the only survivor. Shen Lang escapes on his own rundown raft. He gives up the direct route to the shelter. Instead, he dares to enter the flood zone. He earns points to get supply rewards. From then on, he hoards food, gears up, and faces the disasters, determined to find a way to survive in this drowned land. The world feels like a leaking pot. The rain just won't stop. It's poured nonstop for a month. Shen Lang stands on the rooftop of his 6-story building. Dirty yellow floodwater rapidly rising at his feet, less than half a meter away. 30 days ago, the world went mad. Typhoon Blacktong hit at max power. Category 17 winds ripped apart coastal cities. Right after that, an 8.0 earthquake inland toppled skyscrapers like toy blocks. But even scarier, the Pacific volcano chain erupted all at once. Ash covered the sky. Day became night. 100-meter-high tsunamis hit coastlines worldwide. Lightning keeps pounding the endless black clouds. In just 3 days, human civilization was torn to shreds. Survivors thought the worst was over. But fate wasn't done yet. Then the rain started. And it wasn't just rain. It was non-stop global superstorms. Whether it's New York or the Sahara, even the Tibetan Plateau, everyone looks up and sees the same endless wall of rain. Shen Lang City is history. 5th day after returning to his hometown, the city vanished from the map. Last post in his friend's circle. A former delivery guy said the flood was too much. Couldn't deliver food to his mom. Sighed he was starving. Next day, the account was forever gray. Shen Lang jolts awake, the flood already licking his shoes. He sprints to the edge of the rooftop. There, all crooked, is a barely held together raft, pieced together from household furniture, stocked with his few supplies. Plastic sheet for rain cover, 1 sealed bucket of fresh water, a few enamel basins, a lighter, half a bag of salt, and a pack of dried noodles. Backpack secretly holds his phone, power bank, and laptop, plus his own hand-drawn escape map. 5 kilometers northwest. A mountain 500 meters above sea level is the only way out. Go! Shen Lang jumps onto the raft. The building screeches and cracks behind him. Floodwaters violently shake the building. Cracks spread like a spider web. The raft spins on the raging current. Waves slam tree trunks, broken furniture. Even a fridge bumps the edge of the raft. It's over. He rows as hard as he can. But it's useless. The mountain looms in the rain, barely visible, but feels like a world away, when he's almost ready to give up. Host detected in an apocalyptic flood, piloting a vehicle to survive. Extreme environment binding conditions met. Global catastrophe confirmed. Chain disasters, superstorms, civilization collapse. Host survival willpower is high. Activating super raft system. 10%, 50%. 100% binding successful. A cold robotic voice pops in his head. Shen Lang freezes, then bursts with wild joy. A veteran web novel fan knows this too well. He checks the system panel. Current level, level 1. Scavenger raft points. Oh, need 1 point to level up. Starter pack ready. 1 point granted. System, you are the 73rd on the planet to bind. All previous 72 are dead. Warning, global water level rising 0.8 meters per day. Some coastal regions already submerged. Warning, crustal movement continues. Probability of new geological disasters, 47%. Level up now? Do it. He doesn't hesitate. Points -1. Leveling up. Day 30 after civilization collapsed. Disasters like heavy rain, earthquakes, and tsunamis are still raging. Shen Lang stands on the rooftop as floodwater reaches his feet. That's when he unlocks the web's most desperate super raft system. He isn't the first to get a system, but he's the only survivor. Shen Lang escapes on his own rundown raft. He gives up the direct route to the shelter. Instead, he dares to enter the flood zone. He earns points to get supply rewards. From then on, he hoards food, gears up, and faces the disasters, determined to find a way to survive in this drowned land. The broken raft suddenly glows faintly. Rotted boards are replaced by smooth, strange wood. Size doubles. Half-height guardrails circle it. The rain cover turns into a beehive-shaped roof. Storage, cabinets, and oars morph into sleek alloy paddles. Upgrade finished. Current level, 2. Covered boat, 0.0. Need 10 points for next level. Explore 1 kilometer of new waters. Earn 1 point. Level up. Body enhancement. Global data syncing. Survivor density, 0.17 per square kilometer. Still dropping. Shen Lang clenches his fist. Feels fresh strength in his arms. On the panel, the all-72 deadline gives him chills. Clearly, this system isn't a freebie. But given the chance, it's his one lifeline in this chaotic world. Earn points first. He doesn't head straight northwest. Instead, he paddles east toward a village. The covered boat is steady as solid ground. Rain shut off from the cabin. Inside, dry and comfy. First stop, nearby Lee family village. Already sunken underwater. Only tall roofs poke out. Lee Tower half collapsed. Steel bars twisted and menacing. Shen Lang circles the village. Exploration, plus 0.7 kilometers. Points, plus 0.7. No one in sight. Not even corpses around. Keeps heading east. Passes Shishu village in Panchi town. Scene is just the same. Houses submerged. Utility poles leaning in the water. Clothes floating on rooftops. Occasionally a bloated corpse. All that's left, rain, flood, and his paddling. 3 hours later, he reaches Panchi village, the town center. Slightly better there. A few tall buildings above water. He climbs onto a villa's 3rd-floor roof, kicks open the rusty door. A stink hits hard. A dead husky lies by the door. Bloody paws shredded from scratching. Clearly tried to claw out before dying. House is a mess. Luxury goods and food long looted. Owners long gone. In Doomsday, people are crueler than the flood, Shen Lang mutters. But then spots a building on a distant hillside. It's his old school, Panchi Middle, perched on the town's peak. Flood up to the 2nd-floor windows. There might be hope there. If anyone survived, Shen Lang's eyes light up and he heads for the school. 20 minutes later, the covered boat docks at the 3rd-floor windows. He ties up the boat and walks into the building. Glances at the 2nd floor. Doesn't stop. Heads to the 3rd floor, checking each classroom. Passes by his old office. Takes an extra look around. Desks and chairs are still there, but no one in sight. He wasn't surprised. Half a month ago, the county gave an early break. All the students went home. He just secretly hoped someone might come here to hide. But reality was cruel. A lot of people weren't as prepared as him. If I didn't have the survival system, he would have been fish food too. Suddenly, he remembered the small shop at the stairwell. What he needed most now was food. He only had a pack of crispy noodles left. It'd last maybe a day at most. Even though he was strong, no food means he still can't make it. Not sure if that little store still works. It's been a long time since he checked. He wasn't sure anymore. But then he thought again. He had to give it a shot. Maybe there's still something left. At least it could help for now. Besides, that spot was just 1 floor below the water surface. Not exactly out of reach. Back then, he'd never have gotten into the water for this. But now it's different. His body was enhanced. He's much stronger and has more stamina than an average person. He pulled out a rope and a knife from the barrel. One end tied to the handrail, the other tied around his waist. Day 30 after civilization collapsed. Disasters like storms, quakes, and tsunamis still raged on. Shen Lang was standing on the rooftop, floodwater rising right to his feet. But he awakened the internet's most desperate super raft system. He wasn't the first to get a system, but he was the only survivor. Shen Lang made it out alive on his broken little raft. He gave up the direct route to the shelter and entered the Forbidden's flood zone instead. By earning points, he scored supply rewards. From then on, he stocked up on food, geared up, and fought the disasters, determined to carve out a way to survive in these waters. He walked slowly down the stairs to the water. He took a deep breath at the edge, then dove right into the murky water. The water was black as ink. Couldn't see a thing. He could only rely on feel. Right hand gripping the stair rail. He moved down step by step. Anyone else would have run out of breath by now. But his body held up really well. A few seconds later, he reached the 1st floor steadily. It was right at the little store leading up to the 2nd floor. He reached out to push open the door, but it was locked and wouldn't budge. He pulled out his knife and started prying hard at the door crack. His movements were slow underwater. Not enough strength, but luckily the door was already rotten. A few swipes, and he cut some gaps in it. He put away the knife and kicked a few times. The door was kicked wide open, turning sideways. Shen Lang slipped through the doorway. Inside, everything was underwater. He couldn't see a thing. Had to feel his way forward. Soon, his fingers touched a wooden shelf. On the shelf were bags of goods, all stacked up. Shen Lang felt a little warmth inside.
He quickly stuffed as much as he could into his pockets.
Kept looking around by feel. He found a box. Opened it up. Inside was a big, bulging plastic bag. He weighed it in his hand. It was heavy, but not too much to carry. He gritted his teeth and lifted it, and just carried it directly. But he didn't let down his guard. Held the bag tight, then squeezed back out and returned. Half a minute later, he poked his head out of the water, took a big breath, then climbed onto the raft, placed the big bag on dry ground, opened it up and looked inside.
It was bags of spicy sticks.
Not enough to fill you up. But at times like this, just being able to eat is great. He patiently checked it all. Threw away anything that got wet. Can't be careless when eating now. Snacks that touched dirty water. Who knows how many molds, spores, and viruses are in there. Staying alive tops everything.
He kept searching his pockets.
There was candy, chocolate, dried plum slices, and more. Small snacks didn't bother him. He took everything out and checked. Kept only those with perfect packaging. All set and done. He went back again. And moved stuff from the shop trip after trip, bringing back anything usable. He went back and forth 5 times. Until he cleaned the place out. Each time he couldn't carry much. So there wasn't a huge haul overall. Plus some got ruined by water and were tossed. So his final gain was limited. But there was enough over 20 packs of instant noodles and crispy noodles. A few cans of Red Bull and over 10 pieces of jerky. Plus more than a dozen packs of braised chicken legs. The chicken wings were the best prize. The rest were all kinds of snacks. Nutrition wasn't great, but the quantity was enough. With this batch of food, Shen Lang felt much better inside. He decided to rest for a bit on the 3rd floor of the school building. Started chopping up desks and chairs, and lit a fire. Put a metal basin over the fire. Poured in filtered rainwater. The water started bubbling, then tossed in a pack of braised beef noodles. Soon the smell made his mouth water. He used to get sick of instant noodles in Shanghai, but now it made him drool. Shen Lang swallowed thickly, blew on it and took a sip of broth. Instantly felt warm all over, like he just got all his energy back. Last time he had a hot meal was a whole week ago. Soon he finished off the whole big bowl.
He looked up at the sky.
Sun was going down. He didn't try to be tough. Decided to head back to the boat for the night. Didn't expect to cook inside the cabin. But there was no issue. Even the floor was fine. What kind of wood is this? Shen Lang mumbled to himself. And fell fast asleep right after lying down. Maybe he was just too tired. He slept straight till morning. When he woke up, everything outside was white. It was still raining, misty all around. He turned to look at the school building. Water had already risen to the 3rd floor. Breakfast was simple. A bag of spicy sticks and some milk candy. And a piece of chocolate. Before he got more food, he planned to eat less. But he couldn't just rely on this stash either. Shen Lang thought to himself, getting ready to head out again. The only goal was finding more food. The store's supply wouldn't last long. And the water kept rising. Food higher up would just get scarcer. So it'd only get harder to find. He split the food into 2 parts. Put one in a sealed plastic barrel, the other in his backpack, so it wouldn't all be in one spot. If something happened, it'd all be gone. He knew the Panshi Township area, but outside that, he was clueless. Thankfully, he got a map ahead of time. Shen Lang spread it out and studied it carefully. South was Xiangshan Township. Probably nowhere to even land there. Worse than Panshi. To the north was the provincial highway. But that road had to be totally flooded now. Only way left was east toward the county town. That was the only route he could pick. His mind spun fast. And soon he decided to turn the boat and headed straight east. Standing on the wreck of his boat, he looked all around. his brow furrowed tightly. The current was much faster to the east. There used to be a wide creek here. The terrain drops sharply from high to low. All the mountain rainwater gathers here. Water crashes all around. From a distance, it sounds like thunder. Clinging to the old covered boat, he felt anxious inside. If a wave hit this rickety bridge, it might fall apart right away. He quietly stared at the system interface in his mind. Level 2 covered boat, 18 points. Need 10 more to upgrade. As soon as he spoke about upgrading, the system instantly responded, the screen flickering. Level 3 speedboat, 8 points. Next level needs 100. He looked down at his feet. The boat really had changed. Most obviously, it was much bigger. Before, 2 people would barely fit. Now, even 4 can stand easily. It feels way more spacious inside. The canopy had also changed. No more oily tarp for rain. Now, there are 2 glass windows on the sides, and a flat extension at the front. It looks just like a city speedboat. The wildest part is, the oars are gone, replaced with a steering wheel and buttons at the bow, almost like a command station. What shocked Shenlang was, the whole boat was still made of wood, now a bit darker in color, like a deep brown soaked by water. Touching it, it felt like before. He pressed the switch. With a whoosh, the covered boat shot forward suddenly. The speed was amazing, way faster than rowing. The boat cut through the water smoothly. No engine roaring, and no smell of gasoline. Is this motor made of wood too? Is it powered by air? Shen Lang scratched his head. The more he thought, the less he understood. But the system makes things weird anyway. Meanwhile, he noticed his body felt different. Hands and feet were heavy, not from exhaustion, but because strength was hidden inside. His strength had doubled. Speed and reflexes were boosted too. Now, even if a wild wolf jumped out, he wanted to try fighting it, take it down with his bare hands. He turned the boat back toward Pan Stone Middle School and jumped ashore. He glanced around the school building. The 3rd floor was half flooded. Only a few windows showed above the water, now that the boat was upgraded.
He didn't want to waste those undamaged desks and chairs.
The upgrade really changed things. He grabbed a chair, snapped it in half, felt as easy as breaking a cookie. He squeezed his fist and his knuckles popped. He stared at a desk for 2 seconds, then punched down hard. With a crack, he smashed right through the desktop. Wood shavings flew everywhere. Whoa, damn! He blew on his hand and rotated his wrist. It didn't even hurt. Actually felt good. Before, even with 2 years in the gym, this would have broken his bones. Now it was as easy as hitting a punching bag. Not just strength. His speed, agility, stamina, and endurance all skyrocketed. He went on to break up all the classroom furniture, stacked it on the boat until it was full. In the cold winter rain, firewood was even more precious than what was inside. He took one last look at Panshi village, pressed the start button, held the steering wheel, and steered clear of the dangerous flood zone. The new boat was incredibly stable, hardly any sway at all. Now he got it. The speed boost after upgrading was nothing compared to the insane stability. Ahead, the gorge crossed a wide creek. Steep cliffs rose on both sides. In rainy season, this place becomes a muddy mess. Now the flooded water filled the whole valley. Small waterfalls hung from the cliffs. The sound of rushing water was deafening. Trees floated with their roots exposed. Long rains soaked everything, making the trees fall, and even softening the rocks. Shen Lang considered climbing to escape, but with frequent landslides up there, it was safer to stay on the covered boat. Plus, there's no food in the mountains. Food is actually his biggest problem right now. He tightened his grip on the wheel, carefully steering along shallow water. Everything looked gray and hazy, only the endless sound of water. Even the monkeys on the riverbanks kept calling. A little boat sails past the endless mountains. The poem popped into his mind. Then he scoffed at himself. Where are the monkeys? Just the roar of heavy rain. Panshi is remote, and going out means crossing a long, wild road. The gorge stretched on and on. Shen Lang sat to save energy. Who knows how long passed. Suddenly he jumped up. His eyes locked on something far away. Floodwater raged. The gorge turned into an ocean. The boat stayed close to the left bank, drifting along the slow current. He stood up, looking around nervously. He seemed to hear something strange. Without his enhanced body and boosted hearing and vision, the roar of rain and rushing water would have drowned out anything even a few dozen meters away. They looked carefully and spotted a white shape on the cliff opposite. It appeared, then disappeared. Whatever it was struggling against the current, sometimes pulled under the water, sometimes fighting to surface. Luckily, it was close to the rocks, snagged in some hanging vines, stuck there for now. Shen Lang didn't hesitate. He pushed the throttle, spun the boat straight over. He wasn't cold-hearted, but he wasn't a bleeding heart either.
He'd save them if he could.
If it really didn't work out, he'd just have to accept it. Soon the boat got close to the vines. Leaning over, he spotted the white shape. It turned out to be a white fox, soaked to the skin, looking like a drowned rat, shivering uncontrollably. One paw clung to the vines, the other desperately paddling, trying to reach another branch, but too weak. No matter how it struggled, it was no use. Normally, a fox would be alert and would have run away long ago. But this one didn't even look up. Shen Lang noticed something in the fox's mouth. It was nearly jammed between the vines. A little fox cub, pure white all over, lying still without a sound, barely breathing. Suddenly, a big wave crashed in. The white fox couldn't hold on and got swept away, vines and all. Shen Lang felt his heart race and rushed after it. Only then did the white fox notice someone was nearby. It screamed while being pushed back by the waves, crashing again and again. You think you can get swept away right in front of me? Shen Lang got fired up, full throttle. The boat shot forward like an arrow. At the critical moment, Shen Lang caught up. One hand grabbed the side of the boat, and he reached out fast with the other. The white fox jerked its head and threw the fox cub from its mouth. Shen Lang was quick. He caught it in one hand. Looking back, the mother fox had already sunk into the muddy water, gone in an instant. He let out a sigh, picked up the little fox and went back to the boat. The little guy was limp, not a trace of breath. Shen Lang touched it, couldn't tell if it was alive, pulled out a dry towel, carefully wiped its wet fur, then lit a fire, put the little fox by the fire to warm up. The weather was brutal. He could still handle it. He was tough, after all. But other creatures had no heat. They couldn't survive this cold. Detected. Host has taken in a pet on the raft. Survival ability increased. Award 10 points. A coal system message popped up. 10 points can boost survival? Shen Lang blinked, looked down at the little fox. This fluffy ball even boosts more than the earlier dagger item. But the food system stayed silent, as if reading his mind. System added, notice will appear only for rewards over 1 point. Only then will the host be notified. Please keep it up. Now he got it. Shen Lang nodded. Still felt surprised inside. This little fox actually gave more points than everything else combined. The journey ahead was smooth. No more surprises. Half an hour later, the boat shot out of the canyon. Suddenly, everything opened up. Shen Lang understood. Chanshui town wasn't far. As soon as he reached the canyon mouth, he slowed down and looked around. Remembered there was once a big village here. Scenery was nice. Later, agritourism boomed. Every family built villas. A classic example. Back then, everyone in Panchi Township was jealous. Every family wanted their daughter to marry in. He glanced around. His heart sank halfway. The whole village was covered in deep water, not even the roofs showing. If they hadn't evacuated early, probably few survived today. Floods are deadly serious. It's not like a roaring typhoon, nor like a sudden earthquake. With other disasters, you might get lucky. But with floods, there's only one way to escape. Worse still, floods hit without warning. Still calm the night before. And when you wake, your bed's flooded. This flood rose way too fast. Most people couldn't react in time. No wonder. Few made it out. Doesn't matter how long the rain lasts. Most low-lying areas will vanish from the map. Shen Lang didn't stay long. Moved on. Several villages along the way were underwater. Not a patch of dry land. This place was unlike Panshi Township, way farther from the mountains. Some might have run into the hills to survive. But he wasn't out to look for people. The storm kept pouring down, water level rising every day. Suddenly, he felt the little fox by his feet tremble. Waking up, Shen Lang crouched and watched him. The little fox shook lightly, blinking open its eyes, still dazed, scooted over to the fire. Poor thing woke up all alone. Shen Lang reached out to touch it. Little fox whimpered softly, curled up tight. Hard to say if from cold or fear. Pretty timid. Shen Lang pulled his hand back, gazed at the frail creature, turned to get a metal basin for water, boiled it on the fire, then pulled out a chicken drumstick, chopped it up with a fruit knife, laid the bits before the little fox. Starving, it sniffed, and bit into the meat right away, chewed quickly. In minutes, the meat was all gone. Good thing it's weaned. Otherwise, where could I find milk here? Shen Lang let out a relieved breath. The little fox looked up and winked, eyes bright and shiny. No more food for you.
He put away the leftover meat. He'd raised dogs and cats before.
New cooked and salty stuff wasn't good for small animals. If he had a choice, he wouldn't have given even this meat. Right then the water in the pot started bubbling. Shen Lang took the basin off the fire, poured some hot water into another bowl, set it aside to cool. Once the water cooled down, he pushed the bowl to the fox and smiled. This will be your bowl from now on. The little fox didn't get it but got excited at the water. Pink tongue lapped it clean. Drank the whole bowl in no time. Fed and watered. The little guy perked right up, no longer shy or hiding. Its eyes looked much clearer. Then he took out a map and started planning the next route. Most villages nearby were likely empty by now. If anyone survived, they're probably in the town's high-rise district. He calculated in his head. Changshui was a tourist spot. Plenty of new buildings these years, some over 20 or 30 stories high. If you weren't tall, you were out of luck. The tops of those buildings should still show above the water. But he wasn't here to rescue anyone, just looking for food. Now he had the fox to care for too. So he'd use up supplies twice as fast. Gotta prep more. Settle in, little fellow. He started up the raft, paddled forward. On the endless water, a small boat left a long wake, heading for Changshui all the way. The little fox was like a newbie, alert by the fire, looking all around, staring at the scenery speeding backward, full of curiosity. Just as he'd thought, every village was sunk. No sign of life. Soon the raft crossed into Changshui's area. Shen Lang was way stronger than most. From afar, he saw a few tall buildings holding out above the water. He steered the raft closer. Up close, he saw the buildings weren't fully submerged, just the top floors above water. He set his sights on the main one in the central hotel. That building was over 30 stories tall, more than 100 meters high, the grandest building in town. All major meetings and events happened there. Now the water was halfway up its height. Only the top floors poked out. If anyone was left, they'd be hiding here. Shen Lang slowly paddled over, circled the hotel, scanned carefully. Didn't see a soul. All around, it was eerily quiet. He stayed alert, quietly pulled up to a window, stopped the boat steadily, wrapped his fist in cloth and punched the glass. Bang bang twice. The glass shattered. Used his knife to pry open a gap. Held tight to his weapon. Scanned inside the room. Quick and agile. Jumped in behind. The little fox stared wide-eyed. Watched Shen Lang silently. Didn't make a sound. Inside was a fancy suite. Shen Lang crept around, checking everything. No signs of anyone. But better safe than sorry. In case someone was hiding, the room was tidy. Everything in order. Door tightly shut. Someone had been here, but left in a rush. Didn't mess up the room. Checked for safety. He barely touched anything. Opened the door and kept searching. Doors on both sides of the hallway were locked. But that didn't stop him from kicking them open. The next few rooms were spotless. No one lived there. Got to the fourth room. The vibe changed. Room was tidy. But the blanket was spread out, not folded. Trash can was full of used tissues and empty bottles. The desk was messy. Cups and snack bags scattered around. Same thing in a few more rooms. Doors locked, but clearly someone had stayed. Stuff everywhere. Left in a big rush. Looks like people used to live here. Suddenly got urgent news. The whole hotel evacuated fast. He guessed from the trash. They left about 10 days ago. Shen Lang understood. Serious flood nationwide. No way the authorities did nothing. There had to be rescue operations. But Panshi village is too remote, so rescue couldn't have come here first. No idea where they went. After checking all the rooms on this floor, he was sure the central hotel was empty. Cleared out 10 days ago. Left in a hurry. Didn't even tidy up. Even left some expensive leather jackets behind. But something really caught his eye. He found a brand new drone. Now, that's a treasure. Shen Lang grabbed the drone, went back to the room he first entered. Just as he showed up, crouched by the boat, the little fox, nervous, suddenly called out, with a tone full of joy, "Relax, little guy. I won't leave you." Shen Lang calmed it without thinking. Turned to go upstairs. Little white fox whined urgently from behind. He turned back. Saw little white fox staring at him with big eyes. Looked worried about being left and softening his heart. "Fine, you can come up too." Little white fox seemed to understand. Sounded happy. Before he reached out, it jumped on its own. Landed right in his arms. Wow, pretty agile. Shen Lang set him down. Headed up the stairs. Little white fox hopped along. Looking all around. Super curious. Checked all the upper floors too. Same as downstairs. Some rooms had never been used. Others clearly had residents. Left messy traces. Those used rooms were all a mess. No one cleaned up. And some guests left behind valuables. But mostly clothes and shoes. Nothing really useful. No other finds as good as that drone. Went to the top floor. Shen Lang walked to the edge to look out. He could see all of Changshui town below. A place that used to be home to 10,000 people. Once a busy tourist spot. Now totally flooded with muddy water. All he could see was waves. No land anywhere. Shen Lang wasn't feeling sentimental. Instead, he started planning ahead.
Like?
Moving out everything usable from the hotel. Every room was set up pretty much the same. He searched each one. Came across a leftover suitcase. Stuffed anything useful inside. Honestly, not much was practical. Grabbed tea from every room. Didn't leave behind a single pack. Put all of them in his bag. Seems worthless now, but later it might be worth more than gold. Toothpaste, toothbrushes, all that hygiene stuff.
He grabbed a bunch of those too.
Blankets, pillows, towels were too bulky. Couldn't take much. Just picked 3 or 4. Barely enough. If only the boat was bigger. I could clear out this whole hotel. Shen Lang was thinking while packing. But upgrading the boat won't happen overnight. By the time it's done, the building will probably be underwater. Plus, blankets and that can be reused. No need to take too many at once. Take less. Worry less. Besides that, he even took toilet paper from the bathrooms. And tissues from the bedroom tables. Grabbed anything paper since factories might stop. Making more will be hard. But stuff that looks valuable, like electronics. Hair dryers and kettles are just junk now. No use bringing them. Hotel's huge. But only a handful of useful things. Shen Lang spent the whole afternoon hauling stuff. Ran up and down for ages. Ended up with a pile of supplies. But nothing special. Little white fox scampered behind, having a blast. But what really bugged Shen Lang was, no matter how hard he looked, didn't find any food at all. By the time he finished, it was dark. Glanced outside. Decided not to go back to the boat. Just crashed in a penthouse suite on the top floor. Not worried about the raft outside. The system's boat doesn't need ropes at all. Stays wherever I dock it. Even floods can't wash it away. Hotel's really sturdy. Built to withstand magnitude 8 quakes. Not even a big flood could bring it down. Normally, this suite costs thousands a night. My whole month's salary could barely cover a night. Now, it's free for me. Shen Lang flopped onto the couch. Sank into the soft cushions. Muttered to himself. Little white fox was quick to learn. Copied him right away. Flopped over on its back, legs out. Little nose twitching. Totally relaxed. After a break, Shen Lang sat up. Lit a fire in the middle of the room. Set up a basin to boil water. Brought over a coffee table. As soon as it boiled, made some tea. Tea aroma quickly filled the place. Scent everywhere. Poured himself a cup. Just about to savor it. Little white fox suddenly chirped. "You want a taste too?" Shen Lang laughed. grabbed a cup and rinsed it with hot water, poured some tea in front of little white fox. The little guy lowered its head, licked a couple times with its pink tongue, then squinted its eyes, clearly comfy and satisfied. Dinner was the same as lunch. Shen Lang cut off a bit of chicken for the fox, gnawed on the leftover himself, still hungry. But it was enough to keep going. He knew food was precious. Had to ration carefully from now on. Live off what's stored. No lights at night. Hotel was pitch dark. Just the fire. Crackling sounds, shadows dancing. No phone, no TV, no entertainment at all. Got sleepy as soon as it got dark. Little one came to sleep with him. Shen Lang waved him over. Little white fox lazily glanced at him. Still flopped where it was. Wow, got quite a personality. Shen Lang chuckled, pulled up the blanket, closed his eyes to sleep.
10 minutes later.
Little white fox suddenly pricked its ears, looked over at Shen Lang sleeping soundly, curling up, hesitates a moment, leaps softly onto the bed, slips into the warm covers, nuzzles into his arms, curls up and falls asleep. The next morning, Shen Lang wakes up, feels a bit weird, something fluffy and warm by his side, looks down. The little white fox somehow slipped under the covers, hugging it while sleeping soundly. Its little nose twitching, says no with its mouth, but its body says yes. Shen Lang grins, rubbing its soft white fur. So smooth, like silk. The little white fox opens its eyes, alert, glances at Shen Lang. Seeing it's safe, relaxes again, keeps lying there. Shen Lang pets it a few more times. His eyes suddenly light up, grins at the little white fox. Are you a boy or a girl? Before he finishes, he picks it up. The little white fox's fur puffs up. All four paws kick around, shows its claws and struggles. But no matter how it fights, it's no match for the sly Shen Lang. He's raised cats and dogs for years. Knows the trick right away. No wonder it's got a bit of attitude. Shen Lang chuckles, puts it back on the bed. Looking pleased, the little white fox yelps, turns around, furry tail facing Shen Lang, wags its tail, a little mad. Wow, got a temper, huh? Let's give you a name. Shen Lang scratches his chin, blinks his eyes. The little white fox stays put. Ears droop, pretends not to hear. Naming's important. Needs to be lucky and easy to raise. Let's call you Iron Egg. Like a tough egg. Strong, he grins. Wait, you're just a little white ball. Doesn't sound like Iron Egg. How about Big Girl? Big Girl sounds like good luck. Seeing the fox doesn't object, he decides right away. All right, from now on, you're Shen's Big Girl. Shen Denu sounds lucky. The little one suddenly lifts its head, glares back, snorts. Tail fluffs up like a dandelion. Just kidding with you. Shen Lang laughs out loud. You keep making that yi sound. Sounds like singing, I'll call you Yi. Shen Yi sounds nice and smooth. The little white fox tilts its head, thinks for 3 seconds. Blinks, ears slowly perk up.
Tail relaxes a bit.
Chicken drumsticks with plain water. The little white fox is happily eating. But Shen Lang can only chew on dry rations and pickles. The class difference is obvious now. But who would have thought? The water downstairs rose overnight, insanely high. It's about to flood the entire building. Even the roof has just 2 levels left. And what's worse, the boat is still in the same place. Upgrading quickly became a top priority. Shen Lang instantly pulled up the system panel. Level 3 inflatable boat costs only 33 points. He still needs 67 more to upgrade. 67 kilometers is not too much, but not too little either. But if he does 7 or 8 laps in a day, he can save up. So after eating, he grabbed Yi and jumped onto the wooden boat. The moment he pressed a button, the boat sped straight into the water. Didn't expect the new route. But after some laps, his points shot up to 105. The upgrade was a success. Before Shen Lang could react, the boat beneath his feet started creaking loudly. Then it suddenly transformed. It instantly got huge. The cabin's tall enough to walk around in. The old boat turned into a shiny silver vessel. It looked super fancy. Shen Lang tapped the side of the boat. Feels solid as a fortress. Even the sound is so muffled it's not like anything on Earth, he mumbled quietly. But the system totally ignored him. He quickly checked the hull. He found the lines were smooth. It shimmered with silver. It looked like a patrol boat in a movie. The system interface updated automatically. Level 4 patrol boat now only needs 5 points. But next upgrade takes 1,000 points. The space is suddenly huge. Shen Lang quickly realized. A bigger cabin means he can take all the big stuff no one wants from the hotel and bring it all on board. So he rushed back to the hotel with Ye and cleaned out the whole room. All kinds of books, pens, and bedding, plus the leftover makeup bottles. Everything got packed up. All of it got stuffed into the boat. He set his eyes on that luxury sofa in the presidential suite and the thick mattress you can sink halfway into. They used to cost a fortune in stores. But now the new boat has room, so he had to take all the furniture. As soon as it was all moved, Shen Lang flopped onto the soft mattress. He sighed, finally living like a human again. But somehow, the place still felt a bit empty. So he ran back again, grabbed the coffee table, dining table, chairs, and tea set too. Once everything was set up, the shelter felt just like a cozy new home. Honestly, it looked like a rich guy's place. First day in the new house, Shen Lang lay lazily on the sofa, stretched out, and looked around. The helm is at the bow. The right side is piled with stuff. Feels just like stuffing things into a rental. Suddenly he had an idea, and quickly asked the system if the storage could be divided into rooms. The system replied, "This vessel has smart space management. Access is now open. Captain, please explore it yourself." Shen Lang checked, and found a new screen next to the helm. You could see speed, wind, and weight limits. There was even a permissions list. Shen Lang had the highest permission as captain. Up to 2 first mates or crew. No limit on the number of rooms. And you can set them however you want. He quickly split the boat into sections. Helm, bedroom, kitchen, storage. 4 zones. Assigned space to each. And the boat immediately split into different areas. Silver walls and doors. You can even set door permissions separately. He was instantly the boss of his own ship. Yi became first mate right away. Level 2 permission. Gets first pick of rooms. And gets to eat first too. Shen Lang grinned and ruffled Yi's head. First mate, you'll help me run this ship now. You also get first dibs on food. The little white fox realized there were perks and let out an excited bark. That was its answer? Shen Lang set up the crew info super fast on the screen. Captain, Shen Lang. The only one with top-level access. First mate Shen Yi gets level 2 permission. Then, the system popped up a notice. Detected official first mate appointment. Teamwork. Efficiency increased. Reward, 99 points. Each formal crew member means extra rewards. Max is 100 points. Shen Lang glanced at the score and grinned at Ye. Just 1 point away from full score. If you grow another tail, you'll be flying. The little white fox looked up at him with shiny black eyes. Didn't understand a thing, but still replied obediently. After that, it was already noon. Shen Lang and the fox managed a meal, took a short break, and got ready to go out. This time, the target was a village southwest of Changshui town. Jupo Village, which is built against a mountain, covered in bamboo forests. Houses are built along the slope, thus the name Jupo. Not many villagers. About 30 families. He wanted to go there, because 10 days ago he read the local news and saw a landslide triggered by heavy rain there. The villagers evacuated in the middle of the night, and since the village is high up the slope, it's even more remote than Chun village, so it probably hasn't been flooded yet. They fled in a rush at night. Definitely left a lot behind. He might even find some food. Shen Lang thought it over. To be honest, he'd never planned to come here. Jupo is way too remote, stuck between 2 mountains. It's the hardest place to reach in the entire town. There's not even a proper road. It's not that people didn't want to build one. The terrain is just crazy. Landslides all the time. Even the construction crews didn't want the job. Villagers had to take narrow trails, which took hours each trip. Blisters on their feet were common. But now that the mountain roads are flooded, Shen Lang could just steer the boat right in. Everywhere else was picked clean. Not a grain of rice left. So he could only try his luck out here. Jupo village sits deep in a valley, so remote it's almost forgotten. It's about a 10 kilometers trip downstream, following GPS. The water got narrower up ahead, and the road ended there. There should have been a hiking trail, but the whole mountain was now flooded. Hiking roads all washed out. Mountain water raged like crazy, rushing through the gap between two mountains, roaring noisily, almost deafening. It sounded like a brown monster charging out. Hearing it made your heart pound. The current was fast and strong, way rougher than outside. If it was still the old boat, it wouldn't make it. There's no way you could go upstream like this. Charge, wave no one. Shen Lang suddenly felt fired up, pointed at the rapids ahead, and shouted like in a movie. Wave no one is his new name for the boat. The little boat scooped up water, twisting and bouncing in the waves, fighting against the current. The front of the upgraded boat kept climbing. Inside, Shen Lang and the little white fox gripped the rails tight, afraid they'd fall off. Good thing the upgraded boat was steady enough. Even if it shook, it didn't fall apart. Shen Lang grabbed the railing tightly, while scanning the forests on both sides. There were plenty of trees, but they couldn't stop the raging flood. The ground was full of gullies carved out by the water. Trees were uprooted one by one, leaning every which way. Floating on the surface, everything along the way looked miserable.
He was rowing against the current,
moving slowly. Half an hour later, a few rooftops appeared ahead. Juping village was finally here. Up close, the village wasn't totally flooded, but was still a mess. There were landslides all over, with dirt blocking the original paths in and out. The houses were unlike elsewhere, all built from bamboo, lined up side by side, built up on the slope. There used to be over 30 families. Now only 7 or 8 houses were still standing. The rest were either buried in mud or collapsed, with only frames remaining. Shen Lang docked and tied up the boat. He didn't have a raincoat, so he could only use an umbrella as he headed up. The little white fox gripped his shoulder tightly, determined to follow no matter what. They were pretty lucky. At least a few houses were still up. Otherwise, it would have been a wasted trip. He went to the nearest one first. There was no road, just slippery mud underfoot. Right next to him was a steep slope. One slip and he'd fall into the floodwater. But for Shen Lang, this was as easy as walking on solid ground. In a few quick moves, he reached the door. The door was locked, so without a word, he kicked it open. With a loud thud, the door opened and a musty, rotten smell hit him. He looked closely. There was a bowl of rotting chicken on the table, covered with white maggots. It was disgusting. Shen Lang shook his head. It was obvious they left in a hurry. The rice bowls were still on the table. Clothes hung from a bamboo pole in the middle, so still the wind couldn't move them. There wasn't anything valuable in the living room. He checked the other 3 rooms, searched them all. It was just old quilts and extra clothes. Nothing useful. The only find was in the kitchen. A pile of dry firewood, some plastic buckets, plus a kitchen knife and a big chopper. Knives are super valuable in this environment. His only weapon was a small dagger. It was nowhere near enough for hunting animals. The firewood could wait. He stuffed both knives into a plastic bucket, sealed the lid, and carried it with him, then headed for the next bamboo house. The second house was a bit bigger. It had 4 rooms, but wasn't much better. Still nothing valuable to be seen. The most useful things were again the kitchen knife and chopper. There were some seasonings by the stove, but they were clumped up and moldy. Shen Lang peeked over and decided to leave them. The 3rd and 4th houses were pretty much the same. He checked around, then left. Didn't find anything decent. He tightened the little bundle in his arms and found the little guy was shivering from the cold. Shen Lang gently patted his chest, wanting to warm him up, then headed to the next house. This one was the biggest and most eye-catching of the row. It was closest to the water, and at the highest spot. There was a small yard out front, with a short rack in the corner, and an iron ring hanging on it. Clearly a kid's basketball hoop. Shen Lang stepped inside. At first glance, he saw a deflated rubber ball in the hay. Inside, the place felt different from the others. It was clean and tidy, with sturdy, practical furniture. Way nicer than the rest. This family was probably the richest here. Shen Lang slowed down, checking all the corners carefully. There were bowls and plates on the table. The food was already black and rotten. There were a few pieces of fruit as well, all mashed together into a mess. Nothing special in the living room. He left after checking and moved to the bedrooms. There were 6 rooms in all spacious, with blankets, clothes, and pillows. Some new, some old, but all in good shape. Not what he needed right now, though. He was looking for food, but didn't find a thing. Not even a package of cookies. He felt disappointed. He stepped into the kitchen, then suddenly stopped. What's this, rice cakes? There were several bamboo baskets hanging by the wall. In the first basket were neatly stacked yellow and white steamed rice cakes. Unfortunately, they were moldy on the surface and sticky underneath. Old food like this can make you sick. Shen Lang shook his head, decided to leave it. Not the time to be greedy. Getting sick would be a disaster. He kept checking the other baskets, and then suddenly smiled. One of the baskets had a whole cured pork belly hanging, all tied up nice and neat. At least 5 or 6 pounds. He leaned in and sniffed, gave it a squeeze. The skin felt firm, with no bad smell or mold. It was safe.
He quickly packed it up in a bag
And stuffed it in the plastic bucket. Just when he thought he'd gotten lucky, he found an even bigger surprise. In a cupboard in the kitchen corner, he found 2 bags of rice. One bag was open, dark, and clumping, already gone bad. The other bag was still sealed, with the bag in perfect shape. It felt heavy and solid. He checked it over and over. The seal was tight. No leaks, no damp, no odd smell. Totally safe. Shen Lang grinned and put the rice in the bucket too. 30 pounds of rice could last half a month. More than enough. This trip was totally worth it. Even if he found nothing else later, this one bucket was plenty. This house especially was a total lifesaver. He checked the last 2 houses. Walked around. Nothing special. No good finds. But in one of them, he found 2 unopened bags of pickles. Small, but good to go with rice. So he grabbed them too. At the last one, he hadn't even gone in yet, when Yi Yi suddenly looked up from his arms. Ears pricked up, low growl in its throat. Instantly tense, Shen Lang was on high alert immediately. He'd noticed lately this little guy was super sharp. He could sense anything coming. Shen Lang pulled out his dagger, crept to the door, his whole body tense. Yi Yi jumped up on his shoulder, eyes locked on the crack of the door. In a flash, Shen Lang raised his leg and kicked the door open. The door burst apart. Shen Lang dodged aside, pressing against the wall. A gray blur shot out, ran downhill like crazy. Not a rabbit. Shen Lang has perfect vision now. He instantly saw. It's actually a gray wild beast. It looks like a rabbit, but way fiercer. Shen Lang barely thought. He threw his dagger. A flash of cold steel shot through the air, hit the gray blur right on the hind leg. Suddenly a white blur pounced, too fast to even see the movement. With a smack, slapped the gray beast right back, pinned it easily under the eaves, held it tight. Shen Lang froze on the spot. He couldn't help but stare. It turned out to be a giant bamboo rat, even bigger than Yi. Such a crazy contrast. The little fox pinned it down with one paw. Shen Lang clapped in awe. Awesome, just awesome. Suddenly he remembered that embarrassing moment when he almost named Yi Chun Danu. He started laughing. Shen Lang picked up the bamboo rat to check its weight. 4 or 5 pounds of meat, enough for days. Tied it up, ready to take it back to the boat. Caught a glimpse of a pile of fresh bamboo shoots in the corner basket. They're all big and good. Only a few have bite marks. Definitely bamboo rat's favorite treat. Now Shen Lang understood why the big rat wouldn't leave. All for those winter shoots. Next time he can eat both meat and veggies. No more instant noodles every day. Already sick of the meat. Busy packing up. Found a clay jar. Opened it and smelled. Homemade pickles. Used to be great at mooching meals as a kid. Now it's become a lifesaver. Tossed all the other junk. Holding winter bamboo shoots and new treasures in his arms. When Shen Lang checked the right side of the house, he found a secret little passage. He slipped inside and pushed open the door at the end. He immediately saw a big diesel generator. 4 barrels of diesel were stacked in the corner. He was skilled at using small generators. With it, moving stuff was much easier. Lighting was no problem. He could even play games. It felt crazy realistic. He didn't hesitate and took apart every useful device. Packed everything up. Didn't even leave the wires or light bulbs. This trip, he couldn't take the generator. Shen Lang planned to use the new boat to make a few more trips. And bring a whole basket of firewood. This was premium firewood, smoked and hardened by the villagers. Floodwater everywhere. Fuel and electricity were precious. This kind of dry wood was real currency. For boiling water, cooking, heating later on. We'd totally rely on this firewood. Packed up the supplies. Shen Lang tucked Yi into the cabin, then kept moving back and forth, carrying bundles of firewood into the kitchen corner, packing every space full. On another trip back with firewood, a sharp screech suddenly rang in his ear. Totally, unlike the soft and cute sound usual. It was full of panic and warning. Shen Lang's instincts screamed red alert. Since getting stronger, first time he felt danger just from instinct.
He jerked his head up.
Gaze locked straight at the direction the flood was spreading. There, around the upstream bend, a massive black shadow appeared under the water, slowly rising up. The waves rolled violently. The shadow under the water faded in and out, vanishing and appearing. Before Shen Lang could react, the huge creature charged straight at them. With each wave, a snake head flashed with cold light. It was a giant python, ridiculously thick, wider than a manhole cover. In his life, Shen Lang had never seen such a giant snake. The scariest part was, that thing locked onto him. And Yi, its pitch-black eyes never left them. The two just heard a loud crash on the water. The giant python shot up out, attacked like an arrow released from a bow. Shen Lang didn't hesitate at all. Dropped the firewood, rushed down the slope, scooped Yi up, dived into the cabin, locked the door tight, and then bang! The whole boat shook violently twice. The door held, but the python wouldn't stop. The second hit was even harder. Almost flipped the boat over. No matter how crazed it got, the door held strong. But the beast didn't give up. The next second, its massive body wrapped around the boat like a steel chain, coiling layer after layer, stronger than anyone could believe. The snakehead stared dead at the glass, red tongue flicking in and out, tasting their scent. Now Shen Lang finally saw the whole snake, more terrifying than anything in a nature show. Easily over 12 meters long, almost as thick as a well opening. This thing shouldn't even exist in real life. But Shen Lang wasn't panicked. Since the disaster, nothing was too crazy anymore. The flood was just the beginning. The world had long turned to chaos. Boom! 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 The snakehead slammed the door like steel, 3 times in a row. The whole floor almost shook apart. Shen Lang narrowed his eyes, watching the snake carefully, calculating fast in his mind. With his current skills and gear, maybe there was a chance. But he didn't charge out foolishly. The snake's strange actions made him extra wary. But this deadlock couldn't last forever. He couldn't fight a snake forever. Now an opportunity appeared. Shen Lang crouched down and crept to the kitchen, locking the bedroom door behind him. He moved to the entrance, held his breath, and yanked the cabin door open suddenly. The python hesitated for a split second. Then its instincts drove it inside. It didn't care about the two of them at all. That arrogance sealed its fate. The kitchen was very narrow. As soon as the giant snake poked its head in, it got stuck in the doorway. Couldn't move an inch. Exactly what Shen Lang wanted. If it had stayed in the water, he never would have had a chance. Now it was trapped. A perfect opportunity. A foul stench hit his nose. The snake's jaws snapped at him. Shen Lang dodged to the side, moving fast and sharp. His knife flashed and stabbed right into the snake's eye. The snake's head gushed blood. Its struggle weakened until there was no movement at all. With a heavy thud, the head hit the floor. Blood splattered everywhere. Shen Lang finally relaxed, opened the door. Yi bounced over, jumped into his arms, trembling in fear. Shen Lang gently patted it, but it wasn't over yet. The snake's head and a piece of its body were dragged inside, but most of its huge body was still wrapped around the boat. As Shen Lang was about to go deal with it, he suddenly noticed the python's body had split open on the side, white snake meat spilling out, and the blood was still fresh. as if something had just torn into it. He felt a chill in his heart, a cold wave up his spine. Deep down, he knew the snake wasn't hunting for food. It was escaping from something, and the threat that made it smash into the boat was probably coming any second. Shen Lang wasted no time, desperate to get out now. No hesitation, he grabbed Ye and dashed into the cockpit, pushed the throttle to the max. The boat cut through the water. Shen Lang raced downstream at full speed. In just a few minutes, the water where they docked started to boil. Huge bubbles surged up. A sinister black shadow rose out of the water. The new monster was even scarier, quietly surfacing. The boat shot through a narrow mountain pass, and the view suddenly opened up. When the ruins of Changshui town finally came into sight, Shen Lang could finally breathe easy. But he still couldn't shake the anger. What the heck is under that water? His goosebumps still hadn't faded.
His sixth sense was buzzing.
Anything that could wound that python had to be a disaster-level beast.
He docked near the center hotel again.
Looked around to make sure it was safe, then focused on the giant snake body outside. This thing was even crazier than anything on TV. He couldn't help but think, man, this snake's enough for us to eat for a month and not get bored. So he got to work, hoisted up the snake body, and hacked away with his machete. But after 2 chops, the blade was dented. The snake's skin was totally fine. So he used his knife to cut at the softer belly. Hit it just right. Right then, he heard a familiar system ding. Detected. Host has captured a mutated python. Wooden boat survival boosted. Reward, 80 points. Host has acquired a diesel generator detected. Wooden boat survival boosted. Reward, 50 points. Host has collected a basket of winter bamboo shoots detected. Wooden boat survival boosted. Reward, 5 points. Host brought back a bag of rice detected. System rewards popped up on the screen like crazy. Shen Lang was left speechless. The giant python and generator make sense. But all the junk I struggled to gather got me nothing before. Now it all got credited at once. Shen Lang stared at the screen. He was totally stunned. When did this stuff turn into achievements? He couldn't help but ask. Why didn't the system settle the points earlier? Why is there a huge points rush now? The cold mechanical voice echoed quickly. Host's physical abilities improved. Collected materials became more valuable. Wooden boat survival increased naturally. So all points are issued at once. Shen Lang raised an eyebrow. So the stronger I get, the same item gets me more points. Correct answer. Host is advised to gather more resources, hunt more mutant creatures, upgrade the wooden boat faster. The system actually sounded more enthusiastic than usual, like it couldn't wait for Shen Lang to level up. Shen Lang replied, eyes glued to the interface. The points bar was about to hit 226. Still need over 800 points to upgrade. This patrol boat is just short of the next level. No rush, just take it slow on the journey. The key is to store food and keep scavenging. Walk and pick up things, that's the way to go. Thinking of this, Shen Lang asked casually, how does the system calculate points for mutant creatures? System coolly replied, evaluated according to combat power.
10 points minimum.
Shen Lang tossed the snake corpse in his hand.
10 points minimum.
No wonder such a huge guy barely qualified. Guess I'm only a bit stronger than it. Just a little better, that's it. If that's the standard, my rating should be about 100 points. He had a much better idea now. Compared to the system's level interface, seems about right. If he actually finishes off that monster underwater, starting at 120 points at least. He made sure to remember these numbers. So hunting mutant creatures could really make me rich. That thought cleared his mind. Shen Lang suddenly felt super motivated, wondering how to use the snake corpse wisely. Snake blood, meat, and gall need to be processed thoroughly. Snake skin, teeth, and bones all need to be kept. The only regret is not enough salt. Can't preserve them. No way around it. Just wash everything up and hang them by the kitchen vent to dry. This steaming snake blood is a boost. He scooped out a bowl, held it in his hand, blew off the steam first, then downed it in one go. Warmth rushed through his whole body, like sunbathing under a hot sun. His whole body felt hot. Strength instantly soared. his mind clear and sharp. Yi, you should try some too. Shen Lang brought half a bowl under Yi's nose. Yi looked skeptical, sniffed at it, stuck out her little tongue and tasted it. Her eyes went wide. Amazement and delight showed on her face. Finished the snake blood. He started cleaning right away. After the kitchen battle, blood and meat were all over the floor. Red stains splattered the wall. Shen Lang kept washing and washing. Finally cleaned it up. But a bloody smell still lingered. Kept busy almost till noon. Shen Lang cut the snake meat into pieces. Tossed them straight into the pot. Steaming hot snake soup. The spicy smell hit his nose. And he got hungry. Both of them ate like there was no tomorrow. Sweating like crazy while eating. After this meal, Shen Lang started the wooden boat. Left the center calmly with Ye. The hotel headed toward the county town. This place is called Hengyang County. Actually, it's not much in the city. Only started to develop a little in recent years. Built a few high-rise buildings. But it's still just a small place. On the road from Changshui town to the county, passing a few submerged towns. Only rooftops were left above water on higher ground. Houses at the foot of the hills. But people were all long gone. Not even a pot left behind. Shen Lang searched around. Still didn't find anything valuable. Picking things near the boat here and there. Drifted till afternoon. Finally reached the edge of the county town. Looked over from a distance. 2 floors of a building survived the flood. The part above water looked impressive.
He quickly moved the boat close to the tallest building.
Searched the ruins. Actually found a pack of marshmallows. And a brand new Fruit brand laptop. Other stuff? Either he already had it, or it was too hard to carry. He searched another building. He didn't expect to find a complete water purifier. Shen Lang was overjoyed. Kept working until just before dark. Finally settled down. Cooked a little food to fill up. Just like the last few days. Shen Lang and Ye climbed into the cabin early to sleep. No idea how long they slept. Suddenly Yi's ears twitched. Head shot straight up. Shen Lang reflexively sat up, eyes fixed hard on the window. It was pitch black outside, rain pouring. In the distance, a small boat crept over. A shadowy figure barely visible on it. Seeing it was a person, Shen Lang jumped up right away. Stared at the small approaching boat. When it got closer, he realized it was an inflatable raft. A woman was lying on it, desperately paddling with a board. As soon as she saw this boat, she instantly got nervous, then shouted for help as loud as she could. "Can anyone help me?" Without hesitation, Shen Lang rushed out to start the boat. Opened the hatch and ran out. Reached out his hand. "Hurry, grab my hand." The woman hesitated at first. Couldn't see Shen Lang's expression. Slowly reached out and touched his hand. It was soft and freezing, almost numb. Shen Lang gently pulled and brought her into the cabin. Rain beat down on the door. He quickly closed the door and started the heater. The cabin warmed up instantly. The woman looked tall. Hair stuck to her face. Her lips were almost blue. Her whole body was shaking. Shen Lang tossed her a dry towel. "Dry your hair." "Thanks," her voice was usually clear, but now sounded weak. She wrapped her hair with the towel, fingers still trembling. Shen Lang poured a small bowl of snake blood. "Handed it over, drink up, it'll warm you up." The woman smelled the blood, frowned a bit, but still forced herself to drink it. Before long, color came back to her face. She stopped shivering too. Shen Lang looked at her and calmly asked, "Feeling better now?" "That's incredible. Feels like my whole body is on fire. I'm all warmed up." Amazement shone on the girl's face. Her eyes brightened up. Shen Lang couldn't help but laugh. "While the medicine works, get some rest. Sit down and take a breather." She nodded quietly, sat by the fire warming her clothes, and snuck a peek at Shen Lang. But the next second, Shen Lang turned his head. He immediately lowered his head. His face quietly turned red. "You must be hungry. Don't be shy. I'll get you something to eat right now." Shen Lang stood up. He cleaned the pot quickly. He chopped up snake meat and tossed it into the boiling water. Even before it finished cooking, the aroma was already escaping the pot. The girl stared wide-eyed. She kept her eyes glued to the pot. After it was done cooking, Shen Lang scooped out a bowl. "Eat it while it's hot. No need to be polite." Thank you. The girl quickly took the bowl. She pushed her wet hair back. She took a gulp of soup. Soon, she couldn't help but bite into the hot snake meat. Now Shenlang finally had a chance to get a good look. Her face was fair. She didn't look older than 18 or 19. Her features were delicate, with a mischievous vibe about her. Halfway through eating, the girl suddenly looked up. Holding the bowl, she spoke softly. Thank you. My name is Xia Xiaoshen, like cicada in the summer. Shenlang nodded in response. Shenlang is just as ordinary as you. He didn't expect it. He lowered his head and pointed to the few pieces of meat left in the bowl.
He softly asked if he had to finish it all.
Can I take some with me? Shenlang raised his brows. He looked at him. He lowered his voice even more. My family hasn't eaten enough for days. I want to take some home for them. After a brief silence, Shenlang chuckled, said sure, take it. Xiashan's eyes lit up at once. Really? Thank you. He quickly pulled out an old lunchbox. He poured the leftover snake meat and soup from the bowl all into the old lunchbox, closed the lid tight, and hugged it close to his chest. He nodded hard at Shenlang, then stood up, pulled the hatch open, and walked out. Outside, the rain was still pouring down like crazy. Xia Xiaoqian stood at the door looking at the wind. He waited for a break in the rain, seized the chance, and jumped back to his inflatable boat. He paddled the oar casually. The little boat followed the current and soon disappeared into the rainy night. Shenlang helped people, just does things as he wishes. Whether the person in front of him is beautiful or messy, he never gets too emotional. If he can help, he does. He never asks about anything else. That kind of detachment, with just a bit of pity, can get you in trouble. Even with the system backing him up, he can't afford to slack off even for a second. Meanwhile, Xia Xiaoqian was steering his little boat, struggling with the waves for quite a while. He finally got close to that hill. He protected the lunchbox tightly. While getting off the boat, he kept muttering, Man, luck's really on my side today. If that kind person hadn't helped, Aunt and the others would have fainted from hunger. He gathered himself and ran up the hill as fast as he could. Early the next morning, Shenlang went back into a building in the county that wasn't completely flooded and kept scavenging for supplies. The once glamorous buildings were now all garbage heaps. Shenlang moved through them, digging through tons of high-end equipment like a scavenger. Now, can't even get half a bag of rice for any of it. Once the power's out, stuff like 4090T graphics cards, R11 processors, and 4K screens all become junk. These luxury things are nothing but scrap metal now. But after searching several buildings, Shenlang found nothing. Just then, a mutant mosquito suddenly shot out of a corner. Compared to that giant python yesterday, this thing was nothing. He dealt with it easily in a couple of moves. Looks like there's really nothing left to find in this city. Shenlang thought maybe he should try his luck elsewhere. He was standing by the window, looking out at the endless white. Everything was buried in fog. Suddenly, a hovercraft passed by on the river. He recognized it instantly. Hey, that's the same boat the girl was driving last night. Didn't expect her to circle back here. As soon as the boat got close, Xia Xiaoqian immediately saw him. Shenlang's face instantly lit up. He waved like crazy. He floored it and stopped the boat at the patrol ship, barely caught his breath, and ran into the building, yelling, Mr. Shen. You're still here? What a coincidence. Shenlang saw she looked healthy and a lot more energetic, so he got straight to the point. What brings you here? This girl just left last night, but she's back in a rush today. She probably ran into some trouble. Sure enough, Xia Xiaoqian paused for a second, but still spoke up. That bowl of snake soup really helped me yesterday. So I came to find you today. Can you sell me a little snake meat? Shenlang grinned and got straight to the point. Sure, but what do you have to trade for it? That 100 pounds of snake meat. In this constant flood and wet weather, without refrigeration, there's no way to keep it. Even if he ate it every day, he couldn't finish it all. Shenlang had already figured out. This girl definitely had her own plans. But all that matters to him is profit. Whether you're a beauty or a handsome guy, if you want to trade, you need real goods. Xia Xiaoqian stayed quiet for a second. She pulled out a fancy little box. and handed it to Shen Lang. See if this is enough to trade. The box was full of golden jewelry. Silver chains, rings, even pearls. It all looked real. But paper money's useless now. Gold and jewels might still trade for something. Shen Lang just glanced at it and laughed bluntly. You're right. This stuff used to be worth thousands. Maybe it'd be useful someday. But right now, sorry, it's totally useless to me. A free bowl of soup last night was just a favor. But today, if she wants a deal, she needs real goods, not just sweet talk. You have to bring something useful to the table. You can try offering something else? She kindly reminded her. Xia Shaoqian fell silent. That box was full of treasures from her parents. Never thought they'd get rejected like this. But then she realized, Shen Lang even has a high-end patrol boat. So it's normal if he doesn't care about jewelry. She immediately pulled out a brand new folding knife and a carefully made compass. Shen Lang glanced at both. Those are sort of useful, but I have almost the same stuff. Not rare at all. If you really want to trade, I can only give you a tiny bit of meat. Now Xia Shaoqian was really out of options. She'd offered everything of value she had. Still couldn't get much snake meat. With Shen Lang, only food and fuel matter now. Tools and jewelry just aren't worth anything. Snake meat is super nutritious. And tastes great too. If he wasn't worried, it'd spoil. He wouldn't even want to sell any. Xia Shaoqian hesitated for a while. My face is kind of burning, he whispered softly. Can I trade with you in a different way? Shen Lang looked at him with interest. What way? Tell me about it. He gritted his teeth, his voice barely louder than a mosquito. I know there's a little store. It probably didn't get flooded, but I'm not sure if it's still there. Shen Lang couldn't help but laugh. If you knew such a good spot, why didn't you go clean it out yourself? Xie Shaoqian lowered his voice to explain. That place is up on Goshen. Goshen? Shen Lang frowned. That hill is famous in the county. Every year someone jumps off it. After a while, it became a mountain of bones. It turned into a social media hotspot. It used to be a dead place no one cared about. A month ago, suddenly a company started a haunted house project there, attracting a bunch of tourists, and opened a mini supermarket. The store is packed with supplies. But soon after, the flood came, and that was the end of everything. Shen Lang nodded. A map of the area flashed through his mind. Even if the supermarket is really there, Goshen's not an easy climb. The hill's dangerously steep. It's been pouring rain every day. The whole path is mud, wet and slippery. One wrong step, and you're dead. If anyone else heard this, the info would just be useless. But for Shen Lang,
It wasn't impossible.
Goshen is hidden behind a private high school. Pretty remote spot. Nothing special about the scenery either. It's known because of accidents, Xia Shaoqian added. Someone originally uploaded a video from there online. And boom, it went viral. It turned into a social media destination. Inside the boat, Xia Shaoqian gestured as he spoke, seizing the chance to talk. If my info is true, and the supermarket's still there, can I get 3 pounds of snake meat?
He thought his intel was useless.
Didn't expect Shen Lang to be this interested. But the mountain path is really dangerous. With this rain, it's crazy slippery. One wrong step, and you're done. A lot of people have died there. Plenty slipped and fell. Xia Shaoqian stressed seriously. Most of the deaths there were because of the terrain. But Shen Lang just nodded, smiled and said, Don't worry, I got it. They're super close to Goshen now. The little boat docked right away. He looked up. The place looked exactly how it was described. The whole mountain is like it was chopped with a knife. Crazy steep. It's hard to stand, let alone climb up. Most people wouldn't dare try it. But rumor says there's a secret up top. A hidden cabin perfect for shelter. He pointed. See that wall under the big rock over there? That's the house. The haunted house is right beside the store. Shen Lang looked over, saw the cabin was surrounded by huge rocks. No way outsiders would find the spot. This info is solid. Shen Lang thought for a few seconds. You get a pound of snake meat first. If the supermarket is good, you'd get the other 2 pounds. Xia Shaoqian said weakly. Can I stay on the boat? It's too slippery up there. I'm afraid I'll fall. Suit yourself? Shen Lang didn't hesitate. Just don't run around on the boat. Wait till I get back. Shen Lang got off the boat with an umbrella. Little White Fox jumped onto his shoulder. The two of them disappeared into the fog, leaving only Xia Chan standing dumbly on the boat. Completely confused. He left me here alone. Aren't you afraid I'll steal his boat? He watched Shen Lang walk away, totally speechless inside. Shen Lang didn't worry about losing the boat at all. He had full control over the whole boat. Only he could start the cockpit. For Shen Lang, a steep hill like this is no big deal. He quickly climbed up between the rocks and found the place under the massive stone. Under the boulder was the real deal. The wall was covered with bloody handprints and scary faces. Super creepy. Luckily, the slope was steep. Rainwater flowed right off. The place inside was bone dry. The store was right next to the cabin. Narrow entrance. At a glance, it just looked like a regular convenience store. Shen Lang didn't waste time. He kicked the door in hard and went inside. The setup was neat. Floor was dry and clean. Shelves fully stocked. He grabbed a bottle of water.
$10.
Worse than a tourist trap. But then again, everything had to be carried up here by hand. So high prices make sense. He circled the place, feeling a lot more relieved. Mostly snacks and drinks sold here. No real staple foods. But shelves were stacked with instant noodles and self-heating meals. Time to move. Shen Lang opened a huge woven sack. Stuffed instant noodles, ready meals, and sausages in all at once. Piled in eggs, chicken legs, all sorts of snacks too. Cleaned out a whole sack of not yet expired bread. 2 giant bags, completely full. And then a third just for snacks. All packed up neat. Shen Lang took a quick look around again. Headed straight for the drinks section. Half a shelf was bottled water. Got all the teas and sodas too. Nothing left behind. His goal was simple.
Take everything.
Shen Lang packed fast. Bag after bag completely stuffed. Not one drop of liquid left behind. Shelves even had all kinds of odds and ends. Shen Lang spotted. Raincoats, flashlights, even candles. All perfectly hung up. He grabbed everything. Got it all in one go. Storm, rain, whatever problem solved. Then no breaks. He worked non-stop for more than an hour. Finally, everything was bagged up and sorted. Bags were everywhere. So many he couldn't even fit his toes between them. Shen Lang quickly put on a raincoat, carrying bags on both arms, loaded down with huge sacks. He raced down the mountain with everything. Altogether, it was super heavy. But for Shen Lang, it was like carrying empty buckets. Totally easy. Not even out of breath.
He made it back to the raft in the pouring rain.
Xia Shaoshan was leaning on the hatch, spacing out. The moment he saw Shen Lang soaked, arms loaded with stuff, his eyes lit up instantly, grinning ear to ear. Deal was clearly set. Shen Lang called out, "Open up." At moments like this, only he and White Fox could access the control area. If Xia Shaochan wanted trouble, he couldn't get in anyway. White Fox understood, tapped the handle with its paws.
Clack.
The door popped open. Shen Lang stepped into the cabin, threw all the big woven bags onto the floor. Quick look, everything was fine. No sign of anything wrong. Xia Shaochan behaved himself. After all this work, Shen Lang basically cleaned out the whole store. Even took the old fridge. Saved everything that might be useful later. He weighed out 2 pounds of snake meat. Bagged it and handed it to Xia Shaochan. No words needed. Deal's done, all goods delivered. Xia Shaochan was still hesitant, clutching the snake meat. She asked in a low voice, "If I get more intel later, can I trade for other things?" Shen Lang kept unpacking, focused. His reply was calm. "Not just intel. You can swap for oil, household stuff, whatever, as long as it's reliable. We go strictly by the rules." He added one more sentence. "You can trade for fuel too. Diesel, gas. The more, the better." Xia Shaochen frowned instinctively. She sounded a little bitter. "That's tough. Who wouldn't want oil? Someone like me hardly stands a chance." Shen Lang didn't care. He waved it off. "If you've got some, great. If not, that's normal. Intel can be just as good as cash." Speaking of that, he suddenly slowed down. His eyes landed on her face. "From now on, for deals, you have to come in person. He made it pretty clear. Extra people just messed things up. He could see Xia Xiaochan had some backing. It was obvious to him. More people, more trouble. Only rule followers are worth dealing with. Xia Xiaochan nodded seriously. Got it, also. Can I ask you something? Is the next step hunting for supplies? Shen Lang just smiled meaningfully. Not giving an answer, he hesitated a few seconds, then spoke softly. There's really no news here near Gushan lately. If you want good stuff, try not to leave Hengyan County. The more remote, the safer. Best to pick villages that haven't been bombed, or places hardly anyone goes. After saying that, he lowered his voice even more. Stay away from the east side. Seriously, don't go there. The mention of east made Shen Lang tense up inside. East of Hengyang borders the city Haikou, besides a giant port over there. There are shipyards, factories, tons of big fishing boats. If rain floods the city, people will fight over food and gas. But that actually won't matter most. Whoever controls the ships and sea route, that's who survives. Xia Xiaochen exposed a lot with just 3 questions. The girl was sharp. She understood instantly. But there's no way Shen Lang would risk trading that kind of info now. His bargaining power was too weak. If he met someone ruthless, they'd both be done for. The more you talk, the worse it gets. Better not stir things up. Focus on hiding the boat for now. He kept thinking it through. More people and more guns out east. Resources have been picked through so many times. Going there is just asking for trouble. It's safer to clear out the corners of the county first. Scan the villages on the map, like Chenjia village or Jupo. Those out-of-the-way places are actually best. Once he made up his mind. The main thing was to count up the loot. Just about to start cleaning up, when a system prompt dinged up. Host has collected a lot of supplies. Boat's survival level increased. 86 bonus points awarded. Panel now shows total score 335. No emergencies for now. Shen Lang happily switched to speedboat mode. Farming points while running along the route. The speedboat sped like crazy. Shen Lang stayed alert the whole time, keeping an eye on the storm. Water keeps rising every day. Today higher than yesterday. No one can tell when the rain might stop. His supplies maybe last 2 months tops. If the rain keeps on, finding more food later would be near impossible. Now's the best time to grab supplies and food. It gets harder from here on. The speedboat raced non-stop, blasting through 700 kilometers in a flash. In less than 10 hours. Could even dock on the way. Check 2 mountain families that avoided the flood. Found some dry corn and peanuts. And a stack of flour. Back on the little boat. First thing Shen Lang did was check the system panel. Patrol boat, level 4. 1,012 points. 1,000 needed for upgrade. Perfect timing, the system auto-upgraded. Just a thought, and the screen switched instantly. Promoted to level 5, twin deck yacht. Leftover points, 12. Next upgrade needs 5,000. Twin deck yacht. Shen Lang looked up. The raft had fully transformed. From 1 story to 2. Space multiplied several times. No matter how heavy the rain, he felt safe now. Even the stairs were inside the cabin, super thoughtful. No worries, even with heavy downpours. He glanced all around. The new boat was way roomier. Colors were softer too. It felt just like a luxury vacation yacht. Shen Lang was thrilled. No more exposing himself or causing chaos. He could just pick up bargains as he went. This round, he was totally winning at life. But the twist was just getting started. Went up to see the 2nd floor. Shen Lang scooped up the little white fox and took the new stairs straight up. The top was open, ceiling a bit low and tight. But the best part? The whole 2nd floor was ringed with glass walls. Nothing like a regular open yacht deck. Up front, there was even a mini steering wheel and controls. Mainly for driving, plus a flashy dashboard with big screens and buttons. Look out, the view's amazing. Scenery was unreal. Shen Lang paced all around, feeling super happy instantly. Now he could sail and watch the waves from the 2nd floor. See it all at once. He was feeling proud. Suddenly, the system butted in again. System's been upgraded to level 5. Accessory upgrades are now unlocked. Accessories? What the heck are those? Shen Lang muttered. The system patiently explained. Things like generators, fridge, sofa, table, mattress. Those are all called accessories. Do upgrades cost points? Shen Lang asked. Yeah, need points. The riskier the equipment, the cheaper. Like sofas actually cost more than a fridge. Better to upgrade key stuff first. The system was super serious. Shen Lang immediately got the point.
He casually asked, "How much to upgrade the sofa?"
Info popped up. Ergonomic automatic massage. Sofa costs 100 points. Shen Lang just wanted to laugh at that. Total ripoff. Even if it sounds fancy, he'd never blow points on that. He circled the second floor with the white fox, thinking hard about what to upgrade first. Finally, his eyes locked on the diesel generator. How much to upgrade the generator? He asked. The system panel flashed up. Solar power device, 300 points. Not insanely expensive, but with this rain never ending, going solar was totally useless now. Shen Lang skipped it right away. With no sun outside, the fridge had to stay off. No electricity, so he'd set that aside for now, turning his thoughts elsewhere. Now there was so much more space. A lot of his ideas could finally work. First, he sketched out a corner, specializing in wood-fired stoves. Moved all the wood I brought inside. Now cooking and heating are taken care of. The kitchen's even expanded into its own area. A mini dining space sits between the dining and bedroom. Somehow managed to squeeze a new living room next to it. Now, when guests come, I won't run out of space. Even the bedroom workspace got expanded. Living here feels really comfy. After some quick rearranging while boating, Shen Lang steered the boat's bow, heading straight for Hengyang Central Tower, ready to collect furniture with full confidence. So much fancy furniture it wouldn't all fit. Picked out each piece from online listings. Soon the living and dining rooms were lively. After busying around for ages, Shen Lang finally realized. Shoot, the bathroom. Totally forgot about it. He'd been using the bathroom in the building before. Really exhausting. Can't call it living without a bathroom, right? A toilet's great, but the tough part is the plumbing. All the pipes have to be connected just right. Normally you'd have to hard install them on site. But now there's a system to help. This time I've got to get creative. Set up a bathroom area. He just took the almost new toilet from upstairs, moved it onto the boat and grabbed some old pipes to piece together. Shen Lang quickly asked the system, "Can I upgrade these?" How many points does it cost? Equipment name, plastic pipe upgrade path, high-grade material pipes. Requires points. Just 10 points for advanced pipes. Upgrade done easily. Boat cabin pipes. In a flash, they turned into super tough new material. The joints fit perfectly. Everything flowed smoothly. He went back and hauled in the building's mirror, sink, and more. Even divided up the kitchen's sink area. Upgraded them right away. Biggest problem now is the water supply. Shen Lang sat down, totally worried. Can't just rely on catching rainwater every day. Had a bright idea. Since it's raining non-stop, I should figure out a way to purify it first. He pulled out a plastic barrel quickly, climbed to the top floor, drilled holes in the bottom, routed pipes right into the house. Built a makeshift water collection system by hand. Looking at his DIY rainwater funnel, Shen Lang still wasn't satisfied. Put together a simple homemade water filter. Can I upgrade the purifier? How many points? He followed up. The system panel flashed. You only need 10 points for a basic water purifier. Waited a while after upgrading, but nothing changed. Shen Lang stared at the screen. Found out he'd already burned through his points. Looked helpless right then. Had to set sail to do a quick side quest. Worked hard and got 50 points back. Still got determination. Can I upgrade the water collection bucket? Just 5 points for a basic collector. Exchanged for a plain metal box. Nothing special about it. So Shen Lang just spent another 30 points to upgrade. Auto water collector upgrade complete. New gear online. Automatically checks water levels. Closes when full. Opens up again when it's low. It's super convenient to use. Together with the purifier. Daily water use is finally sorted. Shen Lang went back to check out the bathroom. Opened the door and saw the pipes already hidden inside the wall. Really well put together. You can't even see how the wiring runs. He turned on the valve. Clear water poured out. That sound really brought back memories.